All right, it's time to go over our top 10 quarterbacks for week 14. We're getting right here into the video. We're going to talk about Will Levis. Now, this is a guy, who knows what he's going to do at this point, right? He's had some ups, he's had some downs, but he's not consistent enough, right? But I think this week, he's got a really good opportunity. This week, he is taking on a Jaguars defense that ranks 32nd, cock-a-doodle last in the league against opposing quarterbacks. The question I have for everybody is who is the real Will Levis? Is he somebody that's going to go out there and give you 300 yards passing and a few touchdowns? Or is the guy going to go out there and give you about 150 yards passing and 2 interceptions? So we don't know really what is to make of Will Levis. Even when he had Calvin Ridley alongside DeAndre Hopkins, it really didn't work. Now, it got a little bit better once they traded away DeAndre Hopkins over there to the Chiefs. It was almost like he kind of funneled himself more towards Calvin Ridley. It was almost better as far as the developmental quarterback. But this week, I had to put him into my top 10. He's shown some good flashes where he could be a really good quarterback, and pair that along with, Trevor Lawrence is out for the season, most likely on head. He's in IR now due to that concussion that he took. That's a cockadoodle team. Now, the Titans are going to win this game. It's going to be setting up a lot of good opportunities for Will Levis to be successful in fantasy football. If you've got him on your roster, you got to think about starting Will Levis. I mean, there's 9 guys that I have ahead of him, but if you don't have one of these 9 guys on this list, you're probably going to be starting Will Levis this week, and he has a great matchup. But the question, and it still remains, who is Will Levis? What is he going to be able to do for your fantasy football teams? Well, he's had some good games and he has some bad games. I think this week he's going to give you a good week, and I put him in here for number 10. We're moving right along here at number 9. We're going with Russell Wilson. This is a quarterback that I told you guys all along. As soon as he hits the field, he's taking over from Justin Fields, and he will not look back. He's playing very, very well, hooking up with George Pickens quite a bit, putting up some solid fantasy football numbers, and he's given the wins to the Steelers, which is what Mike Tomlin, the head coach, really worries about. But this week, Russell Wilson and the Steelers are taking on a Browns defense that ranks 17th against opposing quarterbacks. Here comes the deep ball, right? He loves throwing it down deep to George Pickens. Now, Tomlin did make some kind of statements out there saying that George Pickens needs to grow up, and he needs to grow up quick. But as of right now, I mean, shoot, George Pickens is giving you what you want in fantasy football, and a lot of that is due to Russell Wilson being able to place the football where he wants to. I think he's a phenomenal play this week against a Browns team that Jameis Winston on the opposite side is going to throw for 300 plus yards, just chunking the ball down the field. He may throw a few interceptions, but he's going to put up some points, and that's going to let the Steelers come back on offense and put up a lot of points as well. So look for a lot of deep shots to George Pickens. Look for Russell Wilson to get a lot of chunk plays against this opportunistic defense. I think it's going to be fireworks. I had to put him here at number 9. Move right here at number 8. We're going Sam Darnold. This is a quarterback that we saw all season really develop into a good young quarterback. Now, what does that going to mean for JJ McCarthy? Well, that's going to be having to wait and see what's going to happen in the offseason. But as of right now, Sam Darnold is a startable quarterback. You got wide receivers like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison out there. Now he's got TJ Hawkinson back into the mix. He's got a plethora of options out there to throw the football to, and he's doing some great things. This week, he does take on a Falcons defense that ranks 26th against opposing quarterbacks. This could be a high-scoring game this week, right? We don't really know what we're going to really get from the Falcons. Sometimes they play really well. Sometimes they don't. But I think they're going to keep it a little bit close. It's going to make Sam Darnold have to throw the football quite a bit. I think that Justin Jefferson has a great game. Jordan Addison can have a good game. TJ Hawkinson can have a good game. I mean, there's a lot of players out here. So if these guys are going to have good games, you got to start looking at Sam Darnold. So he is definitely a startable quarterback right now with all the bye weeks here in week 14. I think Sam Darnold's a good option to go ahead and go to. He'll be able to put up enough points for you to get the victory. Put him into your lineup. Move right along here at number 7. We're going Jared Goff. Now, this is a quarterback. He's been playing good ever since his St. Louis days back in the day with the Rams. Going all the way up now to playing for the Detroit. He's really got himself a home here. Throwing the football to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Sam Laporta. Hopefully he can get something going at the tight end position again. Not nearly what he was last season. He got Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery in the backfield. But Jared Goff is able to kind of manage everything and have good fantasy points all around. This week they are taking on a Packers defense that ranks 6th against opposing quarterbacks. A tough divisional matchup this week. It's always a good matchup when you see the lines and the Packers go ahead. These guys are some front runners up there with the Vikings. They belong in the top of the NFC for a reason. This is probably the best division in the NFC right now, and this head-to-head matchup should be a lot of fantasy points on both sides of the football. So look for Jared Goff to give you plenty of fantasy points this week to really go out there and say, hey, look, we're going to make a command decision here. We're going to throw a lot to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We might even get Sam Laporta involved quite a bit this week. Let's go get you some fantasy points. Put Jared Goff into your lineup. I think he's a good play this week. So moving right along here at number 6, we're going Jordan Love, the other side of the spoon here. I mean, they are taking on that Lions defense. They rank 8th against opposing quarterbacks. Again, it's a tough divisional matchup, right? These guys are going back and forth. Jordan Love has a plethora of options out there, whether it's Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, Romeo Dubes, Dontavian Wicks. I mean, Josh Jacobs out of the backfield. You got Tucker Kraft in tight end position. There's a lot of players out there to do some things for Jordan Love. Now, the problem is for fantasy football, you don't know which one of his weapons are going to go off. But the good thing is if you have Jordan Love, it doesn't matter which one of his weapons goes off because one of them always does. And against a Lions team that can also put up the points, you're going to see Jordan Love go out there and make a statement for himself. He's like, look, we need to come out here and win this football game. We're trying to win this division. Yo, put it on my shoulders. So Jordan Love should have a phenomenal week this week. I love him in fantasy football. Get the guy in your lineups. Move right along here at number 5. We're going Kyler Murray, right? He could do things on both sides of the ball, whether he's running the football or passing the football. Got a really nice rapport with tight end Trey McBride. Still kind of building some rapport with Marvin Harrison Jr., but I like what I see. This week, they were taking on a Seahawks defense that ranks 15th against opposing quarterbacks. It's a divisional matchup again. Another good one. It should provide really good fantasy numbers on both sides of the ball. I would like to see Kyler Murray really develop more with Marvin Harrison Jr., get him more involved. But overall, I mean, you're seeing Trey McBride absolutely blow up. And again, you have such a high floor because he has that rushing ability. So this is going to be a good matchup on both sides. They're going to be putting up points on the other side. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be putting up a lot of points. So you should see a lot of fantasy options out there for you. So if you have Kyler Murray, I need you to feel very comfortable putting him into your lineup because he will be solid this week, especially in a week that you're going to see a lot of bye weeks. I like myself some Kyler Murray. Move right along here at number 4. We're going Baker Mayfield. This dude has been absolutely solid all week long. And yes, he is in my top 5 in quarterbacks because he can put up 300 yards passing like there's no tomorrow. Baker Mayfield can just get the job done, just flat out a good fantasy quarterback at this point of the season. This week, they are taking on a Raiders defense that ranks 25th against opposing quarterbacks. I mean, no chance the Raiders are even going to slow down Mayfield this week. There's absolutely no chance. The team is absolutely cockadoodle. I mean, they have maybe one defensive star over there other than Max Crosby. Other than that, who else is on any of this team other than offense or defense? I don't like this team whatsoever. They can't do anything. You got Brock Bowers blowing up on offense. You got Max Crosby doing his thing on defense. Other than that, you got nothing else for this team. I think Baker Mayfield's able to come in here, put up a lot of fantasy points for you. Him, Mike Evans, K. Dotton. I mean, you got Bucky Irving out of the backfield, Rashad White. A lot of options here for Baker Mayfield to throw the football to. That's why I had to put him here at number 4 for me. So, move right along here at number 3. We're going Joe Burrow. He's had a phenomenal fantasy season, throwing up over 400 yards passing in multiple weeks. And I think this week he's got a really banger of a matchup. They do take on a Cowboys defense that ranks 28th against opposing quarterbacks. This defense has been absolute trash this entire season. Absolute trash. They aren't able to do anything now that, Dak Prescott's, he's gone. What are they going to get out of CeeDee Lamb? He needs to step up himself. There's just so many question marks with this Cowboys. You're going to see Joe Burrow go out there and just light this defense up. I'm loving myself some Joe Burrow. He should have plenty of time to throw to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, whoever he wants to throw the football to. They're going to be able to light the football up. I love myself some Joe Burrow this week. Move right along here at number 2. We're going Jalen Hurts, the quarterback that's a dual threat, can kind of do a little bit of everything. Run the football, throw the football, has tons of weapons. Now that he has Saquon Barkley in the backfield, he really isn't needed to do much like he was in seasons past. That's why you don't see him have these phenomenal fantasy numbers, but he's just a good, solid option. This week, they take on a Panthers defense that ranks 27th against opposing quarterbacks. Should be plenty of fantasy points against this defense. Let's just face it, the Panthers have played well as of late. Bryce Young's actually doing a little bit of something. But overall, this isn't a very competitive team, right? They were competitive against the Chiefs. They could show some competitiveness, but their consistency to be competitive is just not there yet. So I think the Eagles come out there, they absolutely blow the doors off of the Panthers. Should be tons of fantasy points for this entire offense. Get Jalen Hurts into your lineup. Don't worry about what's going on. Jalen Hurts, number 2 for me in week 14. Then come along here to our number 1 option at quarterback. We're going Josh Allen. This is a quarterback, I'm telling you, he's been able to do things all season long. He's doing great things. Again, one of those high floor guys because he has a good rushing ability. He's got receivers out there who can catch the football. He's got command of this offense that can move up and down the field. And now this week they take on a Rams defense that ranks 14th against opposing quarterbacks. Looks to continue the train on the winning ways, right? The Bills are showing, look, they could be the team to beat in the AFC. They want to be the team to beat in the AFC. Do I believe that? Absolutely not. But Josh Allen's, well, he's wanting to make statement games, right? He let Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis go. So he wants to show, look, I don't need these guys. I can take this team to the promised land myself, and he's been able to do that. So I like what Josh Allen's able to do. Easy, my number 1 quarterback on the week for me. I think he scores the most fantasy points of any quarterback in week 14. Guys, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're putting out multiple videos each and every week, right? We want to make sure that you set the best lineups possible. We want you to conquer going into the fantasy football playoffs and win a championship. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.